Capitol Hill was thrown into chaos today after reports surfaced of a near-physical altercation between Representatives Ilhan Omar and Matt Gaetz inside a congressional elevator. Witnesses claim that the two lawmakers exchanged fiery words and came dangerously close to an all-out brawl, leaving staffers and colleagues in shock. The incident allegedly occurred in a restricted area of the Capitol building, where Omar and Gaetz unexpectedly found themselves sharing an elevator ride. Tensions escalated almost immediately, according to sources close to the scene, as Gaetz reportedly muttered a sarcastic comment about Omar's recent remarks on U.S. foreign policy. "Nice job siding with our enemies again," Gaetz allegedly said under his breath. Omar, not one to back down, immediately fired back. "Excuse me? You're the one who undermines democracy every chance you get," she shot back, her voice dripping with anger. The atmosphere in the elevator grew heated as the two began trading barbs, each escalating the confrontation with increasingly sharp insults. Witnesses claimed that as the elevator doors closed, Gaetz raised his voice, calling Omar a traitor for what he described as anti-American rhetoric. Omar reportedly responded with equal fervor, pointing her finger at Gaetz and accusing him of being a hypocrite and an embarrassment to Congress. "Get out of my way, traitor!" Gaetz allegedly shouted as the elevator reached its destination, stepping toward Omar in a way that startled those present. Omar, refusing to move, stood her ground and retorted, "You're not intimidating anyone. Keep your nonsense out of my face." The confrontation reportedly became so intense that a security officer stationed nearby intervened, stepping into the elevator to de-escalate the situation. According to one staffer, the tension was palpable as both lawmakers continued to glare at each other, with neither willing to back down. By the time the elevator doors opened, a small crowd of staffers and reporters had gathered outside, drawn by the commotion. Omar exited first, reportedly muttering, "He's exactly what's wrong with this country." Gaetz followed moments later, shaking his head and addressing the onlookers with, "You see who we're dealing with here?" News of the confrontation spread like wildfire, with social media users and pundits alike weighing in on the drama. Hashtags like #Omar vs. Gaetz and #Elevator Showdown began trending within hours, with memes and clips speculating about the exchange flooding platforms like Twitter and TikTok. Supporters of Omar praised her for standing up to Gaetz, framing her response as a courageous act against what they see as his divisive rhetoric. "Ilhan Omar doesn't take nonsense from anyone," one user tweeted. "She's a fighter, and we need more leaders like her." Gaetz's allies, however, rallied to his defense, accusing Omar of being overly confrontational and using the incident to draw attention. "Matt Gaetz speaks the truth, and Omar can't handle it," a conservative commentator declared on a primetime news show. The confrontation has sparked renewed debates about decorum in Congress, with critics on both sides arguing that such behavior undermines the integrity of the institution. "This kind of spectacle is exactly why Americans are losing faith in their government," said one political analyst. "We need leaders who can debate policy without resorting to personal attacks." Progressive lawmakers have come out in support of Omar, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeting, "Ilhan Omar has faced relentless attacks for simply doing her job. This is what happens when bullies think they can intimidate women of color in Congress. We won't let them." Gaetz, for his part, has leaned into the controversy, posting a cryptic tweet hours after the incident. "I'll never apologize for defending America. Some people in Congress should take notes." The post quickly went viral, sparking both praise and condemnation. The incident has also drawn attention to the deep divisions within Congress, where fiery rhetoric and personal animosities often overshadow policy debates. "This isn't just about two lawmakers having a spat," said one historian. "It's a reflection of the toxic political climate we're living in." As the fallout continues, both Omar and Gaetz have used the incident to energize their respective bases. Omar, in a speech to supporters, called the confrontation a teachable moment about standing up to bullies. Gaetz, meanwhile, used the incident to rally his followers, framing it as proof of his commitment to fighting what he calls radical leftist agendas. Public opinion on the incident remains sharply divided. A recent poll found that while Omar's approval ratings among progressives saw a slight bump, Gaetz's standing among conservatives also improved, highlighting the polarized nature of the current political landscape. Media coverage has been relentless, with cable news networks dedicating entire segments to analyzing the incident. Footage of Omar and Gaetz exiting the elevator has been played repeatedly, with commentators speculating about what exactly transpired behind closed doors. For now, both lawmakers appear to be moving on from the incident, though their rivalry is unlikely to fade anytime soon. Omar has continued her work on foreign policy and social justice issues, while Gaetz remains focused on his role as a vocal critic of the Biden administration. The elevator showdown, however, will likely remain a defining moment in their already contentious relationship. Whether it becomes a footnote in their careers or a symbol of the divisions in American politics remains to be seen. As the nation continues to react, one thing is clear. The confrontation between Ilhan Omar and Matt Gaetz has become yet another flashpoint in the ongoing culture wars that dominate U.S. politics. With both lawmakers refusing to back down, the stage is set for more fiery clashes in the future. Stay tuned for updates, because in the ever-volatile world of American politics, this elevator showdown may only be the beginning of a much larger battle. The fallout from the heated elevator confrontation between Ilhan Omar and Matt Gaetz continues to dominate headlines, with political insiders and commentators dissecting every detail of the fiery exchange. While the exact words exchanged remain a matter of speculation, the confrontation has already taken on a life of its own, becoming a symbol of the deep divides in Congress. Both lawmakers have used the incident to bolster their standing among their respective bases. Omar, speaking at a town hall event in Minnesota, addressed the confrontation directly. "This isn't just about me," she said to a cheering crowd. "It's about standing up to bullies who try to intimidate anyone who doesn't agree with their extreme views." Gaetz, meanwhile, has leaned into the drama during his appearances on conservative media. On a recent Fox News segment, he described the incident as a perfect example of the left's inability to handle the truth. "When you challenge their ideology, they lash out," Gaetz claimed. "I won't back down." The confrontation has become a lightning rod for political debate, with supporters on both sides framing it as a pivotal moment in the ongoing culture wars. Progressives see Omar's response as a testament to her strength and resilience, while conservatives view Gaetz's actions as proof of his unwavering commitment to defending traditional American values. Social media remains awash with memes, commentary, and videos speculating about the confrontation. One viral clip reimagines the incident as a boxing match, complete with exaggerated sound effects and a referee declaring, "Round 1, fight." Another popular meme depicts the elevator as a metaphor for the state of American politics: cramped, contentious, and ready to explode. Critics of both lawmakers have seized on the incident as evidence of the dysfunction plaguing Congress. "This kind of behavior is exactly why Americans are losing faith in their government," said one independent political analyst. "When lawmakers spend more time trading insults than crafting policy, everyone loses." Despite the controversy, Omar and Gaetz have seen a surge in donations from their respective supporters. Omar's campaign reported a spike in small-dollar contributions following her town hall remarks, while Gaetz's team has touted record-breaking fundraising numbers after his Fox News appearance. The confrontation has clearly galvanized both bases. The elevator incident has also sparked debates about workplace conduct and decorum in Congress. Some lawmakers are calling for stricter rules governing interactions between members, while others argue that the heated exchange is simply a reflection of the heightened tensions in today's political climate. "Congress isn't just a workplace, it's a battleground for ideas," said one veteran lawmaker. "When you have such stark ideological differences, confrontations are inevitable. But we need to find a way to disagree without descending into chaos." The incident has also drawn attention to the role of gender and race in American politics. For Omar, the confrontation highlights the challenges she faces as a Muslim woman of color in Congress. Advocates argue that she is often unfairly targeted by critics who focus on her identity rather than her policies. Gaetz, on the other hand, has faced criticism for what some see as a pattern of confrontational behavior. His detractors argue that his fiery rhetoric and willingness to engage in public spats undermine the dignity of his office. Supporters, however, praise him for his unapologetic approach to defending conservative values. The media coverage of the incident has been relentless, with cable news networks dedicating hours of airtime to analyzing the fallout. One segment featured a panel of political commentators debating whether the confrontation was a spontaneous outburst or a calculated move by both lawmakers to energize their supporters. Behind closed doors, party leaders are reportedly grappling with how to address the incident. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has privately urged Republicans to avoid escalating the situation, while Democratic leadership has called for mutual respect and professionalism in Congress. The confrontation has also reignited discussions about bipartisanship, or the lack thereof, in Washington. "This incident is a symptom of a much larger problem," said one policy expert. "Until lawmakers learn to work together, these kinds of clashes will continue to dominate the headlines." Public opinion on the confrontation remains sharply divided. A recent poll found that 52% of Democrats viewed Omar's actions as strong and principled, while 68% of Republicans described Gaetz's behavior as defending core American values. Among independents, the majority expressed frustration with both lawmakers, calling the incident a distraction from real issues. The timing of the incident is particularly significant, coming as Congress faces critical decisions on issues ranging from the debt ceiling to immigration reform. Some worry that the focus on the Omar-Gaetz confrontation will distract lawmakers from addressing these pressing challenges. Despite the controversy, both lawmakers appear to be doubling down on their respective narratives. Omar has continued to emphasize her commitment to fighting for marginalized communities, while Gaetz has positioned himself as a defender of America First policies. The confrontation has also drawn comparisons to past political clashes, with some historians likening it to the heated debates of the 19th century, when physical altercations between lawmakers were not uncommon. History shows us that political tensions often reflect the broader divisions in society, said one historian. What we're seeing now is a continuation of that trend. For younger voters, the incident has become a rallying point for political engagement. Social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram have been flooded with posts from Gen Z activists dissecting the confrontation and encouraging their peers to get involved in politics. The incident has also inspired a wave of satirical content, with late-night comedians using the elevator showdown as fodder for jokes. One popular skit imagined Omar and Gaetz starring in a reality show called Capital Clashes, complete with dramatic music and confessionals. As the dust settles, both Omar and Gaetz are likely to face increased scrutiny from their colleagues and constituents. Some lawmakers have called for a formal investigation into the incident, arguing that it sets a dangerous precedent for acceptable behavior in Congress. Others, however, see the confrontation as a reflection of the deeply polarized political climate in America. This isn't just about two lawmakers having a spat, said one commentator. It's about the state of our democracy and the challenges we face in finding common ground. For now, the confrontation remains a flashpoint in the ongoing culture wars that define U.S. politics. Whether it becomes a turning point or a footnote in the careers of Omar and Gaetz remains to be seen. As the nation watches and waits for the next chapter in this unfolding drama, one thing is certain. The tension between Ilhan Omar and Matt Gaetz has become a symbol of the broader divisions in Congress and the country as a whole. Stay tuned for updates, because in the ever-volatile world of American politics, this elevator showdown may only be the beginning of a much larger battle for the soul of the nation. The shockwaves from the confrontation between Ilhan Omar and Matt Gaetz in the Capitol elevator continue to ripple across Washington and the nation, dominating headlines, talk shows, and social media platforms. With each passing day, new layers of speculation, analysis, and fallout emerge, cementing the incident as a defining moment in an already tumultuous congressional term. In the days following the incident, both lawmakers have made strategic moves to frame the narrative to their advantage. Omar has positioned herself as a champion for marginalized communities, emphasizing the need to stand up to what she calls bullying tactics by her political opponents. At a rally in her home district, she declared, "When they come at us with hate, we respond with strength and truth." Gaetz, on the other hand, has doubled down on his combative style, using the confrontation as a rallying cry for his America First agenda. At a conservative conference in Florida, he told attendees, "I'll never apologize for calling out radical leftists who want to tear this country apart. They don't scare me, and they never will." The elevator confrontation has also become a flashpoint for broader discussions about the state of American democracy. Commentators on both sides of the political spectrum have weighed in, with some seeing the incident as a symptom of deeper dysfunction in Congress, while others view it as an inevitable result of the nation's polarized political climate. Progressive leaders have rallied behind Omar, framing the incident as emblematic of the challenges faced by women of color in politics. Ilhan Omar has endured relentless attacks simply for daring to challenge the status quo, said Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This isn't just about her, it's about fighting for a more inclusive democracy. Meanwhile, conservative lawmakers have defended Gaetz, portraying him as a fearless advocate for conservative values. Matt Gaetz speaks for millions of Americans who feel abandoned by the political establishment, said Representative Jim Jordan. He's not afraid to speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. The confrontation has also drawn sharp criticism from moderates in both parties, who argue that such public displays of animosity only serve to deepen divisions and erode public trust in government. "This is exactly why people are so fed up with Washington," said one centrist senator. "We need to focus on solutions, not theatrics." Social media continues to be a hotbed of activity, with users dissecting every detail of the incident and debating its implications. Hashtags like #Omar vs. Gaetz and #ElevatorShowdown remain trending topics, and TikTok videos reenacting the confrontation have garnered millions of views. One particularly popular video imagines the argument as part of a dramatic courtroom scene, complete with gavel-pounding sound effects. The incident has also inspired a wave of artistic expression, with political cartoonists and satirical writers using the confrontation as fodder for their work. One viral cartoon depicts the Capitol elevator as a pressure cooker about to explode, with Omar and Gaetz locked in a heated stare-down as other lawmakers frantically try to exit. Late-night comedians have capitalized on the drama, dedicating entire segments to the confrontation. One host joked, "Who needs HBO when you've got the Omar Gaetz elevator series?" Coming next week, a fistfight in the Capitol cafeteria. The media frenzy has also reignited discussions about the role of the press in amplifying political drama. While some outlets have framed the confrontation as a serious breach of congressional decorum, others have treated it as a spectacle, feeding the public's appetite for conflict and controversy. Behind the scenes, party leaders are reportedly scrambling to manage the fallout. Democratic leadership has called for a renewed focus on legislative priorities, urging members to avoid escalating personal disputes. Republican leaders, meanwhile, are trying to balance their support for Gaetz with concerns about the potential long-term damage to the party's image. The incident has also sparked renewed interest in the history of political rivalries in Congress. Historians have drawn parallels to infamous clashes of the past, such as the caning of Senator Charles Sumner in 1856, arguing that today's divisions, while less physically violent, are no less destructive to the fabric of American democracy. For Omar, the confrontation has highlighted the challenges she faces as a high-profile progressive voice in a deeply divided Congress. Advocates argue that she is often unfairly targeted by critics who focus on her identity and background rather than her policies. Ilhan Omar represents a new generation of leadership, said one activist. She's not afraid to challenge the old guard, and that scares them. Gaetz, by contrast, has used the incident to reinforce his brand as a disruptor willing to take on the establishment. His supporters view him as a symbol of resistance to what they see as the excesses of the left, praising his willingness to confront Omar directly. "Matt Gaetz isn't just talking, he's fighting for what he believes in," said one attendee at a recent rally. The elevator confrontation has also drawn attention to the broader issue of polarization in Congress, with experts warning that such incidents are likely to become more frequent in an increasingly contentious political environment. When lawmakers see each other as enemies rather than colleagues, these kinds of clashes are inevitable, said one political scientist. Public opinion polls conducted in the wake of the incident revealed deep divisions along partisan lines. While Democrats overwhelmingly support Omar's actions, describing her as courageous and principled, Republicans view Gaetz as a hero for standing up to what they see as the radical left. Independents, however, have expressed frustration with both lawmakers, calling the incident a distraction from more pressing issues. The timing of the confrontation is particularly significant, coming as Congress grapples with major policy debates on issues like immigration, healthcare, and infrastructure. Some worry that the focus on personal conflicts like the Omar Gaetz showdown will distract lawmakers from addressing these critical challenges. Despite the controversy, both Omar and Gaetz appear to be thriving in the wake of the incident. Omar has seen a surge in grassroots support, with progressive organizations rallying to her defense and amplifying her message. Gaetz, meanwhile, has used the confrontation to energize his base, drawing large crowds at his recent public appearances. As the nation continues to react to the incident, questions remain about its long-term impact. Will the confrontation lead to greater accountability and civility in Congress, or will it become yet another example of the dysfunction plaguing American politics? For now, the elevator showdown serves as a stark reminder of the challenges facing lawmakers in an era of hyperpolarization. Whether it becomes a turning point or a footnote in the careers of Omar and Gaetz remains to be seen. Stay tuned, because in the world of American politics, this elevator showdown may only be the beginning of a much larger battle for the soul of the nation.